Yo, what is up guys? Rob here with another WoW video, and today we're going to be talking about the best 2v2 comps to run as a Ret Paladin for Arena PvP. So if you find this video helpful, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, follow me on twitch.tv/IIZROBERTO, and make sure to like this video and share it with someone who can also get something valuable from this video. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section and I'll try to answer you ASAP. Hope you enjoy this. So here we are guys. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite 2v2 comps to play as a Ret Paladin. And before we talk about the other classes that I like playing with, first we have to understand that Ret Paladins have a lot of burst and we have a lot of off healing. So our class is pretty useful in 2v2 arena. We can practically run double DPS and heal our other teammate up a lot during the game, so we can basically do a lot of damage and we can heal a lot. So that makes running double DPS as a Ret Paladin pretty okay. And even if you're trying to run Ret Healer, it's still viable because you can do a lot of burst damage in 2-minute windows if you set up your timing correctly. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now the first class that I really like playing with are Marksman Hunters. Marksman Hunters synergize really well with Ret Paladins. I feel like they've always been that way. It's because we have Hammer of Justice, which is a 6-second stun, and they have Freezing Trap, which is an 8-second CC. So that's 14 seconds of the other healer or DPS on the other team sitting in CC. And if they trinket one or the other, that means they're still going to be in CC for 6 or 8 seconds. And it doesn't share a diminishing return cooldown with each other, these abilities. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Diminishing returns. See, these are all the stuns that share DR with each other. So we have Hammer of Justice in there, but we don't have Freezing Trap. That's because Freezing Trap is this one right here, along with Repentance, Paralysis, Polymorph, Freezing Trap. You see that? So these do not share the same diminishing returns. So that makes it a lot better to do arena with someone. You should always try to find comps that you can do arena with that don't share the same diminishing returns with you. So like I'm saying right now, Hunters have Freezing Trap. We have Hammer of Justice. They do not share diminishing returns. So we are able to set up CCs on healers or another DPS really well if we're both good at our classes. And another good thing is that Ret Paladins, like I said before, we can heal a lot. So if my Hunter is getting focused down, I can just heal him the entire time. And they can also kite melee DPS pretty well. And they're also good against range DPS because sometimes they can like shoot through walls, so they can like rapid fire through the wall. Like they cast it right here and then they'll use the rest of their rapid fire while it's casting through the wall to avoid like a mage's frostbolt or a fireball or whatever. So they can do damage through pillars if they do it correctly, which is a big benefit. And if melee's on them, they can just concussive shot and kite them the entire time. I will always be running Unbound Freedom, so I can freedom my hunter and myself, so we're able to run faster. He's able to kite more, and I can constantly keep him up with my Word of Glory. And then once we do our burst and we set up our CC correctly, so for example, if we're fighting a Disc Priest, we'll Hodge the Disc Priest, I'll blow my wings, and then he'll Freezing Trap. If the healer doesn't have Trinket, that's what you usually want to do. Your first go is going to be trying to get the Trinket and defensive cooldowns, and then your second one will be to try to actually kill the DPS while the healer is in full CCs for 14 seconds straight with Hammer of Justice and then Freezing Trap. So then once that happens, you see that the healer doesn't have Trinket or Pain Suppression anymore, or any other heals, depending on what class they are. then you can go for the kill on the DPS and let the healer sit full CCs. And like I said, Ret Paladins do a lot of healing, so we're able to play the long game really, depending on the other comps we're fighting. But most of the time, I'm able to keep up my hunter during the arena match for a good, a solid amount of time in order for us to get the win. So that's one class that I like playing with. I also like playing with fire mages. Fire mages are just broken this season. They do so much damage with combust. And we also have good CCs together. Our CCs do not have DR together, so Hammer of Justice is considered a stun, whereas Polymorph is in this section right here. So my mage can do 3 to 4 polymorphs, and then I can do a Hajj. So that's like a total of like 15 plus seconds of CC. Now, that's if the healer doesn't have trinkets. So you want to try to get the trinket first before you use Combust and Avenging Wrath together. And like I said before with the Hunter, you can also keep your mage up the entire time with your heals. Word of Glory is pretty broken right now with healing hands. You do a lot of healing and you're basically healing like 70% of the fight or 60% of the fight, and then blowing your cooldowns and wings to try to get the kill the other 40% of the fight. So like I said, mages are really good. If you want to try to optimize your goes as efficiently as possible, you can have the mage use Combust first, which I think is like a minute cooldown, but now I think it's even lower because of some sort of build they have now. So I think they can get it from anywhere to 30 seconds to 1 minute cooldown on Combust. So maybe you can have your you can Hajj the healer, the mage will Combust, blow up the DPS target, polymorph the healer, and then hopefully the healer trinketed my Hajj, or trinkets another thing or whatever. And then that Combust go by the mage can be used to get the defensives of the both classes and the trinkets of both classes. And then after that go is done, you just wait for diminishing returns on polymorph on the healer. You can set up CC on the healer for 15 seconds, Hammer Justice, and then you can blow wings on the DPS and try to kill them with your go, since they wasted all their defensives against the mage's go. So that's a really strong composition in Arena 2v2 for Ret Paladins as well. Another one is Rogue Ret Paladins. So the job of the Ret Paladin is always the same. We're big burst and heals, and if we time our goes correctly, we can definitely win a game. So with rogues, you can try to sap the healer. The rogue can go really hard on the DPS, force defensives from either the healer or the DPS. They can force defensives and trinkets, and then I can go in with my Hajj the healer, blow my Avenging Wrath cooldowns, kill the DPS, while my rogue either gets a resap on the healer or a blind out of that, which is like 8-second blind. So that's like 14 seconds of CC right there, and then can sap out of the blind if he vanishes or gets out of combat, because if the healer sits a full blind, they're going to be out of combat, and that allows the rogue to go back into stealth and sap the healer for another 8 seconds. So that's really strong, and they also don't share DRs. Let me just check that really quick. So we have sap right there, Hajj over here, so they don't share. But I'm trying to find blind. I don't know what blind is considered. Oh, blind is a disorient. Yeah, so they have sap, blind, and then Hajj, all different DRs right here. So it stacks up really well when you're trying to CC a healer or another DPS target. And then also they have kidney shot that can overlap with your Hammer of Justice, but most likely they're not going to need to use that on the healer. They can use that on the DPS you're targeting, so the DPS can't use their defensives or force them to trinket or other stuff, so they can't really defend themselves while we're attacking him, and their healer's in a full CC. So that's another really strong comp right there. And then the next composition I would suggest is Priest, Ret Paladin. It can be any Priest comp, I feel like. Shadow Priests and Ret Paladins work really well for double DPS. We're both off healers, sort of. We can both off heal a lot. We have a lot of utility together. We can void swap. I can bop. I can bubble heal. I can use Word of Glory, etc., etc. I have big burst. They have good burst. So it's a really strong comp. Disc Priest, Ret Paladin is a pretty good comp too, I would say. It's just sometimes if you're fighting another healer DPS comp, the Disc Priest on your team will run out of mana before like a Holy Pally. If you're fighting like Holy Paladin Warrior and you're running Disc Priest Ret, that can be a tough comp because warriors do so much damage throughout the match that your healer might go before their Holy Paladin. But if you set up your CC and goes correctly, you can definitely win against that comp. Same thing with Holy Priests. I feel like Holy Priests are pretty strong in 2v2 Arena. They do a lot of they have some good CCs. They have Psychic Scream, which is pretty good, and then they have another stun right here. Forgot what it's called. Chastise. That's a holy word. Chastise. Yeah, so that's a 3-second stun, and then they can fear, and then you have Hajj. So it can work. I ran it with my brother to like 1700 rating, and mind you, he's never done arena in his life, so it's pretty good that we got 1700 together. We could probably hit 1800 together as Holy Priest, and he doesn't do PvP at all. He just does PvE, but we're still able to use our goes correctly and get wins, and we're probably going to try to push to 1800 together. So yeah, any priest is good. And then I've never done twos yet with a feral this season, but I feel like that would be a good comp. You got Cyclones for CC, and also Convoke for a really strong burst with Avenging Wrath. And then I have Hajj, of course, and then we both have really strong off healing. So I feel like that would be a good comp to run. I ran Boomkin a little bit. I was trying to help my friend get to 1800 on his Boomkin, and that's a tough comp to play. Like, you have to play defensive like 75% of the game. So I'm just spamming heals. He's sitting in bear form and healing himself until we have the perfect opportunity to try to get a kill. And that requires the healer not having Trinket, Bubble, Pain Sup, whatever defensive cooldowns they have. That's kind of a tough comp to play. I know he can just press Convoke and win the game, but a lot of the times he gets interrupted, and we can't really do that. And then Shamans are definitely a good partner with Ret Paladins in 2v2. I ran Resto Shaman, Ret Paladin to 1830 with a real life friend, and we were able to do it. It's kind of tough because I don't think Resto Shamans are as strong as we thought they would be this season, but they're still pretty good. You got Hex that you can do to try to set up CC chains, so they can like use Voodoo Mastery and Hex, and then I can Hammer of Justice out of that, and then hopefully we can get a kill. That's all timing on my part, knowing when to go for the kill, knowing when to switch to a healer to try to get the kill. It requires me to like know when I should go for a go and try to win the game, and yeah, that just requires timing and experience. So it's a pretty good comp. Also, Enhancement Shamans I think are pretty good. I never ran with one, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. Wind Fury Totem helps Ret Paladins out a lot, and it also helps out Shamans, Enhancement Shamans. Also, they have good off healing just like us. They're like an off healing class, and I've heard really good things about that comp, but I have never actually run it. And then the final one is Monk, Windwalker Monk, Ret Paladin. I feel like that's a good comp. The Windwalker Monk can really just... I know they're squishy to a certain extent, but I feel like my off healing and their defensive abilities and their utility skills, they have like Disarm, like sweep. They have a lot of stuns and utility abilities. They can like teleport across the map, and I think all of those abilities would work really well with the Ret Paladin if you play it correctly. So yeah, that's my video for today. I'm really not moving on screen, I'm just talking a bunch. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you. Maybe you want to try out some of these comps. Maybe you tried out other comps that I haven't tried out. If you did, suggest them in the comment section and I'll read them. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys found this video helpful. These are just my favorite 2v2 comps to run as a Ret Paladin in Arena. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me over at Twitch. There's a link in the description. And like this video, share it with someone, and don't forget to leave questions or comments, and I'll try to answer you ASAP. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.